So this one day I was just browsing on Safari trying to look for like a sea dragon reference I could draw maybe. And I stumbled upon a poisonous blue sea dragon thingy. So I decided to make a dragon out of it. This is only part one, by the way, meow meow meow. This is I have done the eye already, as you can see, and that's me kind of struggling to make the head and the snout. Eventually, I got it right, and I did not stick with that jawline. And that's the head and the upper jaw already. What? This is me doing like an open mouth thingy. And that's me doing two curved lines or the whatever it's called. That's me doing the teeth, and I just did a little plume of fire. Neil. I made the whole thing bigger to fit all the teeth, see? Anyway, I tried to fit all the teeth on the lower jaw and the upper jaw, but it wasn't working out. But it worked out alright, and I might have forgot to color them the lightest yellow. The extremely light yellow. It's almost white because I'm not sus. I swear. Sometimes. That's me emptying out some TCs needing to be emptied because it's too black. And I just accidentally clicked YouTube instead of Safari. And yeah, you could see the reference. It's like bigger image on the very right. It's like really weird. And it's poisonous apparently. And there's just this leafy seahorse. So this thing was a pain to draw. After deciding for a little bit, I decided on straight horns because why not? This thing doesn't have horns anyway. Helpful thing. And I made like like this little fluff thing, not really like fluff, but like thin stuff along the back instead of just regular spines. And this thing has like a white stripe, so I put it there as well. When I was drawing this thing, I was like, okay, that was some weird noises. I made like a very nice ear shape. And I decided on like the same texture for like the frill. I'm going to use this texture for the 6 wings this man has and for the end of the tail. I had to look some inspiration again. I was extremely confused on what that thing is, but it worked out somehow. Yay. I made the top part, so I thinned it, and I kind of still made the top part too thick, so I did even more. And that did not make sense. Not my words, but like how it looks did not make sense, but I don't care. Comment if you care. I made them, at the time, I thought I made accidentally like too skinny. So I added the underbelly to what was already there, and it looks super weird and stuff. So I just dumped that idea out of the window. That's me during the scare. Accidentally went on YouTube again. That's me looking at some more references. And I realized I forgot this like little patch on its running down its back with like the white stripe and like the darker area before it. So I had to remove some scaly scales to do that. And so I had to add it to every single area that's on the bag. That was fun. Like, really fun, actually. And pacing back and forth. Anyway, so I did scaly stuff. I just scales the lines, these, and I gave this guy teardrop scales because why not? I like glowing teardrop scales. This guy's underbelly, like most of this thing glows. And he's also poisonous when you touch him. That's why his fire is not poison. Anyway, that's me doing the arm and starting the wings. I was kind of struggling to get an idea on how to do the wings, but after a little bit of like 2 seconds of brainstorming, I got my idea. So this is like the medium portion of the wing. There's 3 wings on each side, obviously. As I mentioned, like 2 sec, not like, I don't know what I'm saying. But like, the, yep, this is the like larger part of the wing, like the largest. Yep. And the tiniest part is kind of far separated from these two, but I plus I don't know equals a confused me, alright? And I accidentally made it bigger because I had more space. So I made like slightly, I made like a fiery thing, and now his wing. And at the time, I was thinking, well, now his wings just look like they're made out of fire. And that's me doing the white stripe of the wing. Not that it's gonna last as long as many other Dragonoses of mine. But yes, that's my cat's nickname. I know, kind of weird. Anyway, that's me drawing the arm. Wait, use curve lines to separate the claws, but you can do whatever you want. Don't know why I just did that. And by the way, silent mode doesn't exist anymore. Since there's some spaces between the wings, I had to put things that's supposed to be there between the gaps. So that's exactly what I did. Kind of. Yeah, I just almost fell out of the chair. Anyway, that's me scaling up those legs. That's me separating each scale on the arms. And I used V's for most of the scales, by the way. I don't do irises. I used to do irises because why not? But now I don't because, well, why not? Shows more of the white color. the eye color on them. Anyway, so this is me starting on the start of the tail, and that's the actual tail. I made his tail kind of skinny, so I didn't mix the underbelly and what's already there. Instead, I just put the underbelly on what's already there. And this is me doing like the fluff thing on the end of the tail. Part one's gonna end after that tail, after that part tail is fully colored and full nosed. That was bad. Anyway, that's me continuing the fluff spine pattern thing on the back, and that's me doing the underbelly thing. I decided to make an area connect because why not? Seriously though, at the moment I was just like, well, why not make this connect? This is me finishing up that pattern. That's me doing the V's for each individual underbelly scale. And that's me doing the white stripe. Stripe. Like, this is me like trying. I just checked the recording. Anyway, that's me like trying to get the top letter half, and it somehow worked out. I don't know how, but it did. And what am I saying? This is me doing all the V shapes for the other scales until I reach the end of the tail, of course. And I realized I have to do that on that little part of the tail as well because it shows through. It's not dumb, I swear. And that's me doing some scales. Scales. This is me doing the other bottom, the tiniest half of the thing. Yeah, of the wing. This guy has 6 wings, man. That's a lot of wings. And that's me doing the other of the top wing, of the biggest part of the wing. Okay, now his wings look even more like fire. What the? That's me continuing the teardrop scale pattern down his closest underbelly but not underbelly scales. Right now they don't have a scale pattern because I for orb, but later I put these to separate them. Yeah, that's me putting these to separate the teardrop scales. And I started on the eye. First, I wanted like a deep blue. Accidentally just switched it to orange, but don't actually try to invert the colors. So I put in the portion needed like that, and to use the light top blue. Yes, I'm doing a fade in the eye because why not? In this man eyeballs. I didn't change to like a light sky blue to like fade into the cyan color. And that's the cyan color. Yes, I know. It looks already blended from a distance, but it's well blended enough from up close. Anyway, so I grabbed out my liquidy blender tool, checked my recording, and started blending it. What a surprise. Anyway, I had to make I had to make it smaller for those like parts so I don't accidentally blend the eye in there. Yeah, and if you already haven't noticed, this canvas isn't exactly white, so I just put white in the shine and the pupil. There's like a lot of white, but like I pretty glow, period. Pretty sure you already know that. I grabbed did the same gradient with the teardrop scales somehow. And that's me changing to to a blue color. I put it there and it looked kind of weird, but it's fine. So I did one more of that and changed to the next deeper color. And I used a deeper blue because, well, that that's a long from the neck to the base of the tail. That's a long way. And lastly, I used the midnight blue again. I know. Anyway, and I can't speak today. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I was thinking on what to do next, and I had to look at the reference photo again. Uh, so I looked at every reference photo of this creature I could find. So I had it design it in mind, I'm pretty sure, but this thing looks confusing. And yes, I forgot to make the white stripe actually white. And I accidentally colored the liner white. So that's me dealing with the white stripe that separates the segments of scales. So that's me finishing up coloring the white stripe. That is me using a blue for. I was gonna use this for the horns, but I did a gradient on the horns and I used this color for like that scale color. I don't know. So that's me doing that. And yes, it's the only part of the scale that goes all the way to the end of the tail. The end of the tail. Anyway, so that's me doing the parts needed on the legs. Surprised the arms weren't first. So that's me doing that. I did the one on the arms now, including the part on the wing. This is me using a lighter blue for like the top row of scales. So that's me doing the part on the arm, the tail, the neck area, and the legs. So I needed to use that color again because of that area black. That's me grabbing the white because I missed the part of the white stripe. I accidentally colored everything white. So I fixed that with the undo on. I accidentally went on the YouTube again, but looked at more references. I grabbed that color, made it slightly darker. Yes, I was gonna say lighter, but turns out I made it darker. And this is the color for the top layer. Not really top layer, but like the fourth layer of scales. Usually this is gonna be the main color, but in this case, nah. And I don't want to fill the wings that color. Yeah. This is me cutting the parts needed on the tail. So that's me doing that, and I finished up with this color, I'm pretty sure. This is me grabbing a lighter version of that. And this is like the scales closest to underbelly scale color, which, and I accidentally colored the wing set. Sort of the wing set, which never exists. By the way, almost the scale, the scale thing, the scale closest to the underbelly thingy. That's me using the deep blue for the claws, but the wing has no claws. So I I wasn't sure what to do next. I'm pretty sure, but I just tried to grab a color. And this is me doing like the gradient in the underbelly, although it isn't much of a gradient. And I used that cyan color for the other color of the gradient. So I did that. Yep. And I had I had to like put like empty out an area where I put like the mid color and then blend it. So that's me blending it and realizing my blender tool is way too big. So I made it smaller, like barely, and it was still too big. And it was still too big. And I finally got the right size and blended it together. And what I do, I put back the V separating the scales, of course. The underbelly scales, not all the scales. I checked my recording because I think this iPad sometimes just stops recording for no reason. All right, this is me using the blue for an outline because, oh my gosh, I'm gonna sneeze. Anyway, because all of these fluffy parts glow, including the wings frill and the tail. So that's me doing that. And silent mode doesn't exist anymore, so I'm just gonna bore you with my commentating because of why. Anyway, so that's me doing the frill behind the ear, and somehow I forgot to color the ear until I started adding the glow. Seriously, how did I forget? So that's me doing that, I guess. That's yeah, that's me making a blue outline to the frill. And yes, there's a spine thingy behind the frill. So it looks like I made a mistake, but I did it. Trust me, I swear. So that's me doing that. I'm continuing down. Okay, that was anyway. That's me continuing that the spines back down to all the way to the end of the tail, which is also the end of the video for part one of this video. What am I saying? At the time, I was thinking, oh, we're not able to put that black orb thingy there, and then I finished the spine. So I had to move on to the next one. And all these parts of the spines, like even the wings, were hand colored, not filled with the fill tool, like most of the part. I'm lazy, I know. So I finished the second spine that shows on the tail. I forgot the one on the part of the tail that shows, but I'm pretty sure I do that in the next part. Part two. Part two already exists, and it will be uploaded next week. I'm pretty sure. I don't. Okay, whatever. So this is me doing more spines. You basically kind of just scribble along the edge until you get what you want. Kind of just like color along the edge. It's genuine. The whole thing, if you think, when I think about it, the whole thing wasn't that hard. So that is me doing the 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 spines on the tail. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna call them from now on. So that's me doing that. And it's almost the end of part one, so wait next week for part two. It's probably out by the time people are watching this. So, this is me, doing like the last few spines on the tail. I don't know what past me was thinking, but watching this from a future perspective is kind of irritating. While past me pauses, and I just finished up the third to last spine, and I just past me just finished up the second to last spine, and that's the last spine before the end of the tail. Yippee! And now we've got the end of the tail. Past me decided the end of the tail will be easier, but the wings were no harder except they took longer. So that is me doing the crooked edge first for some reason. And comment your backstories in the comment section because I want to see what you guys could come up with. I'm not lazy, I swear. Not I am lazy on coloring though. So this is me starting to finish the tail. Yes, I'm only starting to finish up on the tail and there's like a little more minutes of the video left. Anyway, so this is me just coloring along the edge until I reach the actual tail. Yeah, tail. So that's me doing that, making the curves and crooked parts. It turned out really well, not gonna lie, but it just took the wings like took forever, and I had to smooth that part out. So that's made almost past me thinking. And wait, that's me making that curve, and that's me making the other curve. Yeah, this has like 8 parts or more. I didn't really count, so count you can count them yourself if you want. But this, yeah, I'm almost finished up with the tail. So yep, please subscribe. And that's the final bit of part 1 at least. See ya part 2, I guess. And I filled some of these in before part 2 because why not? And I have like 3 seconds left. Anyway, so that is me doing all the white parts currently and on the end of the tail. So and the video's gonna end. So bye, see ya. See you next episode, aka part 2.